Well, hello, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope everybody's having a great Saturday afternoon. Hopefully, this is the calm before the storm that is going to be headed for Minneapolis of the Dallas Cowboys, hopefully getting back on track. And we started these videos, these live streams, right after the season ended, and we originally started them out as a bitch fest because we were sick of this shit. We were tired and fed up as Dallas Cowboy fans, and we use this as a way to vent, and we've gone through the highs and the lows of the off season and things like that. But I want to, before I bring in my panel and stuff, let me say shout out to Angelica Barone. I see you, Angelica, and Joanne Gonzalez, the first two ladies in the place with the style and the grace. I was having a conversation with one of our great fans and stuff that I actually met at training camp and stuff. And I want to say that the world has changed, unfortunately, not for the better. Unfortunately, people feel the need that if you don't agree, then we have to be enemies. And I'm sick. It drives me crazy. Just because you're a fan of Mark Holmes, I don't expect or want you to agree with everything that I say or believe. It's okay. If you're a Cooper Rush fan and you think Cooper Rush is better than Dak Prescott, well, God bless you if you believe that. I don't believe that. And if you do, it doesn't mean that you and I have to be enemies. And that's just an example. But too much right now that everything has to be toxic. And it shouldn't be. It should be okay that you believe in what you want to believe, I believe in what I want to believe, and we can get along. So I just wanted to say that I'm trying to take it down a notch. I'm trying to make this a safe place. We're all older people that love the Dallas Cowboys and want to see them succeed. I want to see them succeed, but I don't know about you guys. I want to see them succeed, and so on. And without further ado, let me stop babbling along here and let me say hello. We've got our first person in the house already is Troy Daniels. How you doing? Troy said he's feeling better today. Troy, how you doing, man?
Doing great today, Mark. How about yourself?
I don't know what's going on with me, but I have been just like tired. Mm-hmm. I had COVID back in August, and I swear since I had COVID that I just feel like if I were a battery, that I would just be like, I need to be charged up.
Yeah. And
it's crazy because it's like I don't sleep through the night like I normally would. I don't know if that's part of it. I got like my wrists are always aching and stuff, body aches and stuff like that. I don't know if this is long COVID or what it is. And I'm always like sleepy. So I'm like, yawning all the time. So I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just that I've turned 57 years old and I'm just old and this is what I have to look forward to.
Yeah, I'm not far behind you there, my friend.
Yeah. So, hopefully, I was just saying that because, we have a tendency to just want to attack people, because they don't agree and things like that, and there was a different world when I grew up that we didn't have to agree. You got your opinion. Okay, that's fine. Good luck with that. But now it's just like everything is so tribalized, and it's crazy.
Yeah, it's we can agree to disagree, which was the norm back then. But now, it's like you said, my opinion is better than yours, and it is fact kind of a thing.
Yeah. Mike, I don't know about adjusting to fall weather. Shit, it feel like winter weather up in here right now in Virginia. I don't know what you're talking about. It's been cold. I mean, I've been having a fire in the fireplace and everything else and trying to scrounge around and get some wood and stuff, man. I feel like I'm in Green Bay or some shit. Now, it's not like Buffalo. And I don't know if the Buffalo Bills actually were able to leave the airport or not.
I don't think they have yet or not. I wouldn't want to be in Buffalo for sure. I saw the pictures of the stadium there.
Yeah.
It looks like that thing is going to be buried. I mean, that thing is
for a while.
Yeah.
And the thing
They're
about that stadium is it's kind of like it's dug down in there,
dug under
so
the
they're going to have
ground.
to literally, and there's one ramp that goes down there to it. They're going to have to dig their way out of that thing, but they'll be
Exactly.
playing in Detroit if they can get out. I was seeing a lot of the fans were helping the players digging their cars out and everything else, so they're trying to get everybody to the airport. The airport, last I checked, was still closed, so we don't know if they're going to be able to get out or not. So
I
that'll
know
be interesting.
I think they switched it to Detroit because they're playing the Thanksgiving Day game against Detroit, aren't they?
Yeah. Supposed to be
So
playing
yeah.
Cleveland tomorrow, and then the Lions on Thanksgiving. Yeah, so that'll be interesting.
Okay.
If they don't get out, then I guess they're going to have to postpone the game. Mike Fields, how are you doing? Everything is well. Okay, update for everybody. Mr. Mom, whom I have never seen it, I don't remember seeing in here before, came in last night and said the weed guy died. I am happy to report that I love weed. He was with his family and stuff and all that and was unable to be on the show last night. So he is fine. He is breathing. He is kicking. So anybody that was worried about I love weed, because I sent him an email last night because I was worried when somebody came in and said some stuff like that. He's okay. Roland's review. What's up, Stacy? How are you doing? All right, so Troy, did you spit out your Italian sub like I did last week watching the Cowboys? And I see we got
my
Ruben
gosh.
Walls is also in the house, and Marino 486 is also here too.
I'll tell you, watching the game, I think the Cowboys shot themselves in the foot. It wasn't Green Bay because they were more superior. I
Yep.
think the Cowboys, with especially that penalty that got them into a second and forever,
19 in overtime, you
something
mean?
like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's what doomed them. And then turning it, going for it on 4th and 4, they should have just punted it and left it to the defense.
Yeah, or maybe run the football.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know that I'm disappointed in the loss. I mean, it was a good game. I kind of expected that. I mean, I predicted like a 10-point game for Dallas when it ended up being a 3-point win for Green Bay. To be honest with you, I'm not too disappointed in that loss, to be honest with you.
I am, because that was our opportunity to gain some ground.
Yeah.
You know what? And maybe this is a good thing. Well, one, I feel bad because I didn't get the big sub. Okay, everybody, calm down. The big sub, I got it today. Thank God we have it here, and we're going to be doing a giant juicy Lucy sub. Okay,
Ooh, nice.
And so what that is it's a hamburger with cheese that's molten inside of it. So I've got to do a bunch of cheeseburger patties with cheese inside of them and cook them so they're still juicy, and then put them on the sub. So that's what we're doing tomorrow, and hopefully to give the Cowboys a little extra mojo and stuff on there.
Hello.
Stacy, how are you doing?
Hey.
Hello. How's everyone? I'm fine.
I am doing good. You know what always happens? It seems like for us, DMV. What's up, DMV? Hopefully, DMV is going to be here tomorrow to help eat that chopped cheese sub. I mean, it could be that juicy Lucy sub.
Good.
You know what always happens to our team? Whenever we are expected to do something,
We don't.
we don't.
Yeah.
Think about it. Going in the first game of the season, oh, yeah, the Cowboys, they got Tom Brady. This time they're at home. They're going to come out, and we fall flat on our face. We lose Dak Prescott. Oh, their season's done. It's over with. They're out of here, man. Forget about it. The season's buried.
Hey,
We go 6-2.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Now, all of a sudden, the Cowboys, you know what? They're the only team that's going to challenge the Eagles. They're Super Bowl favorites. They're looking so good. Man, Aaron Rodgers, man, they're going to retire him. They're going to stomp the roach.
Mark, you remember when I told you guys, I said the live stream before the game, I said, watch, we're going to get his Aaron Rodgers best game of
Yep.
And we did.
And I think that's what we did.
We got his best game. And we had opportunities. There's things about the Cowboys that always drive me crazy, because it's like sometimes they act like they're so smart, and they end up outsmarting themselves.
That's right.
Here it is. The Cowboys are actually, as far as yards per play, one of the best running teams in football. But we still don't do it enough. We were having success. We were going against the 27th ranked defensive front.
They hardly used
27th defensive front.
I was going to say they hardly used Pollard in that in the overtime.
And here's the problem. Here's the problem with Pollard. Too. He had 21 carries, which is the most he's had as a pro. In college, he did not have a lot of them. And the thing is he's very, very effective. He needs to be he's not a bellwether back. He gets worn out. He gets tired. And that's where Zeke Elliott, as much as people keep saying Zeke is done, he's not done. He's not done.
He's not. I like the two back sets that they use for him.
Mm-hmm.
Swap them in and out. That way you keep fresh legs in there.
Yeah.
And you keep those defenses guessing. I mean, if we could have had Zeke last game, against Green Bay, I think we win that one. I really do.
Mark.
Yes, Stacy, what's up?
Do you?
You're breaking up.
So, okay. Dan Quinn says that everyone, from what Micah's saying, people were playing hero ball. So, do you think that Dan Quinn will be able to get the guys to stop going for sacks and to actually, attack the runner, the person running the ball?
Well, here's the thing with it. Well, one, last week was kind of strange because you actually had Micah Parsons on the line 9 times. Okay. Now going in, here's a couple of things. This is where I say, this is where you have to be smarter or basically look at the information in front of you and say, okay, they're bad at this, then we need to do this against them. Kirk Cousins against the blitz is the 32nd quarterback in the NFL. He's not good against the blitz. So that means you need to go ahead and tee off of him. The thing about the problem you may want to say is with our defensive ends, everything is predicated on them getting to the quarterback quickly. And the problem is if it's not done equal, if you're getting the ends upfield real quick and the defensive tackles aren't, then there's kind of a gap between the tackles and the edge rushers rushing that they're hitting. So you need to get more pressure from the guys, the tackles, to be able to push and close those pockets as well.
I think with signing Tack McKinley now, that kind of helps shore things up.
Maybe we'll have to see what kind of shape that he's in, and here's where we always, my hair is doing crazy things. Good Lord. The thing that's crazy is you think about, you signed a guy and automatically everybody expects this person to be, the player they may have been a couple of years ago. I will tell you that, Eagles signed Robert Quinn, right? Yeah, and so far he's played 46 snaps and had 2 tackles. So you look at that and say, okay, you gave up a 4th-round pick on there, and now you've gone out and gotten Ndamukong Suh and Lavelle Joseph. It doesn't always mean that you bring in these guys that are going to be able to make an instant impact. We're still waiting for Hankins to try and get into the mix. I think one thing is looking at Micah Parsons' numbers, the last 2 weeks have been kind of down. He hasn't had a sack since October 23rd, and I think a lot of this defense goes as Micah Parsons goes. Mm-hmm. And it seems like he's taking this personal now, the loss. I mean, when you hear him say, if Dak ever gives us a lead like that again, we will not lose it, and basically he's going to die trying to make sure that doesn't happen. And
I was going to say they had a 14-point lead 2 times and blew them both.
Yeah. I think that was just one of those ones that, Green Bay and Minnesota are the polar opposites. We never have luck very often against Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers. On the flip side, we always seem to do well against Minnesota, even in Minneapolis, and Kirk Cousins. So hopefully that was just the terrible game that we've had. It's out of the way, and it's not what the team really is. What's up, Lola? Sorry I missed you there.
I think if we take care of business tomorrow against Minnesota, and then we can take care of the Giants on Thursday, we're going to be sitting pretty good.
Most definitely. You know what's crazy is the difference between this time last week to this time this week. How quickly people are to go ahead and go from we're a Super Bowl team to blow the damn thing up. Everybody sucks. It's kind of crazy. What's even crazier is how nobody's talking about Buffalo.
Never.
Have you understood? You know, if you go on Twitter, what's left of Twitter and stuff, I think Boss Cowboy had Boss Cowboy put a picture of Diggs, who is literally, when I say high pointing the ball, he looks like Michael Jordan taking off from the 3-throw line trying to grab the pass from Josh Allen. And for Josh Allen, could you imagine if Dak Prescott in overtime threw threw an interception into the end zone in overtime and to lose the game? Could you imagine what the world would blow up if Dak Prescott threw that interception? Right? Ain't nobody saying anything about it. Buffalo, you know, it's not like they don't have talent. I mean, they signed Von Miller. You know, you got Diggs, one of the best receivers in football. Josh Allen's supposed to be the best quarterback. They're supposed to be the best team. All of a sudden, they've lost 2 games in their division and blew it to Minnesota at home in overtime, and they blew a double-digit lead. Y'all acting like you didn't even. That this is news or something. Like, really? Did anybody else hear all of this before? No, nobody's commenting.
Like the Bills, I don't know. I just don't like the Bills.
No, it's just not a matter of whether you like the Bills or not. But all week we've been hearing, you know, Stephen A. Smith, that Dak Prescott's the weakest link. And, you know, everybody's going through, well, Cooper Rush, you know, he wouldn't have thrown those 2 interceptions. And the Cowboys defense is, you know, all of these doomsday scenarios about the Cowboys and how bad they are. And Mike McCarthy sucks and this, that, and the other. But nobody's killing Buffalo. Except the snowstorm.
Because it's Buffalo. They were Super Bowl favorites, right? Wasn't they?
That's what I'm saying. And it's, you know, going into the and here's the thing that's crazy is because they told us from the beginning the Cowboys suck. They let go of their offensive line. They let go of Amari Cooper, Cedric Wilson. You know, Dak's not that good. We weren't expected to do anything. Buffalo, all season, they've been talking about it's ranked number 1 in the NFL, power rankings. And now all of a sudden they've dropped to 3rd in the division, just like us, same record.
Yep.
And you can literally point and say, Josh Allen, that interception cost you the game. Right?
They won't say that for Josh Allen because he's not playing for the Cowboys.
That's what I'm saying. There you go. There you go.
But you know, here's also the thing too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how other guys say, "Oh, Cooper Rush wouldn't have thrown that interception." I don't think Cooper Rush would have done any better against the Green Bay Packers, especially when our defense is giving up, rushing yards like it's a dinner buffet.
Not even just rushing yards, big plays too. Like,
big plays too. Yeah, and I saw that.
That Watson guy, yeah, I said it last week.
Yeah, true. But see, you know what? Here's what I think honestly happened. One. The teams still are the teams that we know. We still do the same stupid shit that Jason Garrett had. And Jason Garrett, after bye weeks, we never won. You know, every time we were home field advantage and we had a bye week in the playoffs, here it is, we're losing. I don't know why it is, but we suck coming out of a bye week all the time. And we suck against Aaron Rodgers. But I honestly just felt like we went in there arrogant. And just acted like Green Bay was just going to roll over and die for us.
I don't know. Do you ever do you listen to the game?
Do I listen to the game? I try to listen to it as I'm watching it while I'm also live streaming, so it's hard to get everything at the same time.
Well, when I listen to it, it's obvious to see that they're biased towards Green Bay.
Oh, always.
When Dallas do something.
Oh,
no, it sucks. Oh man,
always.
And then Green Bay goes around and loses to Tennessee. I'm all like, yep, of course they're going to lose to Tennessee.
Why did we lose? Like, it hurts even more.
But you know, that was emotionally, you knew, like Stacy said, you were going to get the best Aaron Rodgers. The last thing he wanted to do was to lose to Mike McCarthy, a guy he sent packing. And here it is, Mike McCarthy. You know, I the way he came back to Green Bay was like Douglas MacArthur returning to the Philippines. We've conquered them, okay? I have returned and we have saved your. No. And as much as I love the quote that we're going to stomp on the cockroach, I forgot. Cockroaches survive everything, including nuclear blast.
That's Aaron Rodgers.
And here it is. We don't show up. We are better off when we're the underdog. When shit is, when nobody's expecting, and I'm happy that everybody's saying, "Oh man, Cowboys are going into a buzzsaw. They got no chance against Kirk Cousins, and you know the Minnesota's the hot team." Good. I hope it stays that way because I need those guys to have that chip on their shoulder and not believe the damn hype.
Isn't the line like 1.5 for the Cowboys?
Yes, and I'm still like, I don't know how we're favored on the road against
How
Minnesota.
are we even favored?
Yeah.
Remember, they said that same jump when we, before the Cincinnati and LA game.
Mm-hmm.
What we do, we beat them like they stole.
Right. We weren't expected to win those games, and we went out there and won.
And I was talking to Law Nation a couple of days ago, and I told him, I said, "Hey man, look, we're playing against another top wide receiver this week.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you
Justin
remember
Jefferson.
they said the same thing about Jamar Chase,
Mm-hmm.
Cooper Kupp?
Mm-hmm.
What they do, they suck."
Well, we shut them down, of course. But then after we beat them, they're just bad teams now.
Cooper Kupp he was all right. He did a little work. But Chase, we shut him down.
He did a little bit, but he wasn't that big factor, on having a good game like catching 10 or 12 passes for about 175 yards.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't that big of a factor.
Mark.
Yes, ma'am.
In the chat, someone alluded to the fact we brought in Ridgeway to stop the run. And why do you think they let him go?
I think that they didn't think anybody was going to sign him off of waivers. They were trying to make. They were hoping that nobody would sign him off waivers, and Washington did.
On the practice
and
squad.
I think that you're going to have to watch Washington now. They've got the Texans tomorrow. Sorry, Eastside, but your team is ass. Okay. They'll probably get that victory tomorrow. We got the Eagles with the Colts, although the Colts are playing better with Jeff Saturday. I would love to see the Colts get a victory.
I hope they do that.
The Eagles with Dallas Goedert out. That's the second leading receiver on the team. You've got Jordan Davis out on the defense. They're giving up a lot of yards on the ground too. So
I think we play the Colts in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we play the Colts in December, and the Texans. And the Titans.
Right.
Yeah,
Which one of those games is the Thursday night one?
The Titans are. Titans are Thursday night.
Titans get another Thursday night game.
Yeah.
Then.
So
DMV is right about John Ridgeway because in training camp he was outplayed, and this is the problem with rookies is you don't know what you have sometimes, and I'm not ready to give up on Jalen Tolbert yet, but sometimes when a rookie gets there, their eyes are all wide open and they just have not gotten up to the speed and the use of being in the NFL game. And that's where the Cowboys, I think, figured, okay, we don't want, we're trying to make a move. We'll be able to re-sign him to the practice squad, and Washington jumped in and grabbed him. So I think that was just one of those ones that,
So you like.
How is he playing for Washington?
He's not doing bad.
He's doing okay with Washington.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just put it like this. I'm saying if. I'm not saying that it's gonna happen. If Dallas was to find some kind of way to win the NFC East, we can thank John Ridgeway for that fumble.
Okay.
Because if it not have been for him forcing that fumble Monday night,
Mm-hmm.
Philadelphia would have scored.
Yeah.
And they may have won.
Wow.
That's true. That's one way to look at it. Well, going into this game, this again, going back to the Cowboys, this is like sometimes it's like Why aren't you using the things that you have? We talked about here the running game. Tony Pollard has been fantastic all season. We get back Zeke wearing a knee brace. He wore a knee brace a lot going down the stretch last year too with the PCL injury. Yes, sir. Ruben.
Yeah, I believe that. I think the Cowboys will win this game this week. I really believe they will.
Well, they better.
I believe that defense will come up this week.
I think that Micah Parsons is definitely taking it personal. In fact, I think it's kind of cool that we have not been hearing any bravado. We haven't really been hearing the players saying, this, that, and the other. That it's actually been kind of quiet coming from the players.
What a storm, buddy.
Good.
Yeah.
What's D-Law's status?
D-Law, he'll be playing. He talked about the fracture that he believes that his foot is fractured where it was repaired last year. He's got a plate on there. He's got a couple of screws in there, but he says it still doesn't feel quite right still. But he's like, that's not the problem. It's actually knee issues. It's more of it. Anthony Barr, hamstring, should be playing there tomorrow too. Anthony Brown, who's in concussion protocol, he practiced fully too yesterday, so he should be in there as well. So at least they're getting some of the guys back. But here's an interesting number. And this is those things that it's not anything that's new. This has been throughout Dak Prescott's career. Dak Prescott is second in the NFL only to Pat Mahomes in play action with the 125 rating. So if you got two things that have been working really well for you, running the football and play action, you need to use more of those. Oh, and I'll throw in there 12 personnel because you use that in the running game and all that. All three of these things are good things for you. When you just go back with four wideouts, okay, four wideouts, you're not as effective as you are play action. Mm-hmm. Especially when you look at it and say, how many real NFL wide receivers do we have right now?
We're just as good as anybody else running the ball.
Yes. 4.7 yards per carry is what we're averaging this season. We just don't do it as much as other teams. We are running the football 0.4 yards better than the Eagles are.
That's not bad.
We're only a tenth of a yard behind the Giants at running the football.
You can beat anybody without 12 personnel.
That's the thing. But see, all three of those things are tied together. In 12 personnel, you can run the football. If they don't put 8 men in the box, great. Then I'll just run down your throat all day. If they do put 8 men in the box, you play action it. You got one-on-one coverage on your wide receivers. You drop your tight ends. There are things that you can do, especially with Dak Prescott being that good with it. But we got Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy that are trying to reinvent the wheel. What's up, mailman?
What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I want to. Can I do a PSA here? A public service announcement? Okay.
What up?
I mentioned this when I first started before everybody kind of got on here, but there is so much toxicity in the world on everything, okay? I'm trying to tone things down a little bit, and, I don't care if people agree or don't agree with me. My bottom line is I still want to be your friend. If you are a Tony Romo fan that thinks Dak Prescott sucks and all, that's fine. That's your opinion. That's cool. But we don't have to hate each other because you think that. And so, we want to kind of be cool with this thing. Everything is, I hate that Cowboy fans. You know what we all want as Cowboy fans? We want to freaking win. We all have a difference of opinion on how to get there. I don't know if mine's right, if yours right. Maybe if we all listen together and say, hey, we take a little bit of you, a little bit of you, a little bit of you. Here's the answer, and this is how they freaking win together. But as long as we're all just at each other's throats and not just football, we're never going to solve anything. So I'm trying to be kinder and gentler. And I know we've got outside influences in there. We got the crazy Stan that's always trying to, turn it up and try and get us at each other's throats. But listen, can't we all just try and get along? Okay.
It's sad, Mark, because you me, you, Mailman,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of and a lot of us OGs who were Cowboy fans back in the day.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that back then. It
Right.
No.
wasn't like that back then because when we lost a game, our attitude was like, who we play next week? We gonna
Mm-hmm.
beat their ass. This gonna be revenge from today.
Yeah.
Who we gonna beat down next week? Back then, if these toxic fans, if they was cheering for the Cowboys back then, and
Mm-hmm.
if you came with that toxicity, our attitude would be like, man, if you don't get that shit out of our face, you better. And I'm right, Mark,
Yeah. Oh, I know.
because we didn't take that back then.
But
Yeah, it's gotten bad. But
It's bad. It's sad. It's
um,
pitiful.
you know, I am over the 5-0. Just looking back, yeah, like the worst thing we had to worry about was, like going to school or being ribbed by your friends, and it was
Mm-hmm.
kind of maybe the local media here near Philly is always hates Dallas, but it was never
yeah,
as bad as it is now. Now it's
No.
man, if you're a Dallas fan, you're bad news. Your
Mm-hmm.
team has a 1-0 in 27 years. Go, crawl under a rock. It's like, listen, I mean, like the fact that we're still following this team. I keep hearing from the Philly faithful running their mouths about
yeah.
their Super Bowl. I'm like, man, it's not easy winning Super Bowls.
No, it's
This
not.
whole New England and Tom Brady thing, they made it seem like it was you can have a Super Bowl, you could have a Super Bowl, hell, you could have a Super Bowl. That's not how it works.
Yeah,
You
but
only have one, Philly.
yeah.
That's so you should know, right? You have one Super Bowl win in your whole existence, so you know how hard it is.
But take a
We've been
look.
to 7.
Take a look though. What happens after you win the Super Bowl? Look at the Rams right now. 1 year out of winning the
No,
Super Bowl, they're terrible. Think about there was an article today
I'll take
talking
that.
about the longest playoff droughts for teams and stuff.
Yeah,
And think about the Denver Broncos are on that list of the the 10 worst or 11 worst. They haven't basically been in the playoffs since they won the Super Bowl. Think about that. They went to 2 Super Bowls with Peyton Manning.
Back to back. Yeah.
And here it is. They can't even sniff the playoffs anymore. You think about where the
well,
Atlanta Falcons go into the Super Bowl,
and they won't. They won't.
No, not right now. They screwed the
anytime
foods with
soon.
Russell Wilson.
Not anytime soon.
That-
Not for
Not
a while.
anytime soon.
That whole thing is a mess. But it's hard to, and I think I pointed this out to you guys on Thursday night. The Cowboys, if they go to the playoffs this year, this is something the Cowboys have not done back-to-back playoffs since Chan Gailey back in 97 and 98.
Yeah.
Yep.
Back-to-back play. The Cowboy, as much as people, it's Super Bowl bust. Guys, if we go to the playoffs 2 years in a row, we ain't done that shit in over 20 years.
Yep.
Yeah, and I
Been
don't
a
want
long
to jinx
time.
them. I don't want to jinx the team, but they're primed to get back.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark, to correct you on that, the last time we went back to back in the playoffs was when Tony Romo took over in 2006 and 2007.
You sure about that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we beat the Eagles.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, I'm wrong. You're right. Okay, you're okay. I'll give you that one. Okay,
He was
still,
like, all right.
still, that was a long
wanna
freaking
get-
time ago.
I don't want to give too much away, but I'll just say this: I was looking at some numbers. Do you know Dak Prescott's record when he throws the ball for 40 times or more?
It's like
More than
80.
undefeated.
It's like
Well,
it's under 500, I think, isn't it?
6-14.
Yeah, it's under 500.
6-14 when he throws the ball over 40 times.
Yeah,
Okay, if me and you know that, and we could pull up that stat very easily, why wouldn't a man like Kellen Moore or Mike McCarthy be tapped into that and say, "Yo, when we keep
Yeah.
it balanced, our record is
That's
unbelievably better."
light bulb.
Exactly.
And back to what I was saying before. I don't know if you were in here, Brian. Okay, we know about being balanced. You can go back Tony Romo's best season wasn't when he threw for 4,903 yards.
Year
It was when he threw 2 years later 3,700 yards. He had 32 or 33 touchdown passes and only 9 interceptions, and was throwing a yard more per completion because we were able to run the ball and have a balanced attack.
It's almost like a stigma if you run the ball these days. Do you want to win? I mean, I don't, especially with the defense that we have. And just real quickly, I missed out on. I tried to comment, but I didn't want to interrupt anybody. We were talking about Dallas's offense. Listen, Dallas's offense is not who lost the game last week. We can sit there and argue.
Thank you.
And discuss about what I didn't care for the play calling down the stretch,
Yeah.
especially when McCarthy said, well, I knew on second down that if it got to fourth that I was going for it. Well, then why in the hell didn't you run the ball with 3rd and 4?
There you go.
You were going for it. But be that, as you would say, Mark, be that as it may, you know, under Cooper Rush, our defense went over and above to keep the score. They averaged, what it was, 17 points a game they were giving up.
Yeah.
The most we scored was 24.
28 points until we lost. It was 28-28. We lost 31 to 28.
You're right.
This is what happens with Dallas. They get happy. Oh, my God, look. You know, Dak's back. We're scoring points. You know, even though he makes a couple mistakes, we score. I mean, you know, we scored 28 points without Zeke Elliott. Okay, so that's not the problem. The problem is our defense has got to get back to what, like you were talking about. They each have to, take it personal. I like what I'm hearing, and I'll just say I'm kind of surprised that Vegas has Dallas favored this week.
Yes, Paula, but shout out.
You know, Justin Jefferson was talking trash, talking about they guaranteeing a victory over us. So
well, it's a tough place to play. It's one of the hardest places to play. But
hang on,
Vegas
real quick, guys.
ain't usually too far off.
Hello.
And why are we giving
just
points
need
on
Diggs
the
to follow Jefferson. That's what I need. Just follow him, Diggs, all day.
I would say.
and Brown
that,
needs to cover Thielen.
Okay.
Somebody needs to stay on their tight end.
Well, tell him if he wants me to come to one, he's got to come to our house for one of my events.
Bland, you think who gonna play? Hey, they got a lot of receivers. They're a decent team, so this should be a good match.
Sorry, y'all.
We'll travel with them.
I'm not going to say that their front line is as good as what Green Bay gave us last week, but that front line for Green Bay last week, wow, they protected Aaron Rodgers quite a bit.
Well, a couple of things. They didn't actually pass. They didn't pass 46 times. And because they were thinking that we were going to have to be dealing with the run more, allegedly that's why they were putting Micah in at linebacker so that way he could stop the run more and be more run support than going after Aaron Rodgers. But I kind of like stomping the cockroach. Paula Bettis, shout out to Paula, one of the lovely ladies in the place. Yes, I love weed. Had family over. He had family over and stuff, and so they were hanging around. I don't know if they were passing the Dutchie from the left to the right, the middle, or whatever. But he sent me an email this morning. He said, "Hey, man, everything's okay here." He's like, "I'm sitting there seeing that." I said, "What the hell? I'm dead." It's like, dude came in and said that something happened to you. So
Somebody tried.
But it actually scared me because I emailed him last night during the show. And then I checked, after the show, didn't get a response. Then checked it, I went to bed at 12 o'clock and checked. Being an old man where I got to get up and pee in the middle of the night, I checked it 4 o'clock in the morning and still didn't see anything. Got up this morning and it's like, oh, God. I was like, I hope nothing's happened to him. But fortunately, just as I was leaving the house to go pick up the big sub, yes, I got the big sub, okay, for tomorrow. Didn't have it last week and we lost. I'm just saying, I am superstitious. I got the big sub.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, thank God.
What kind of sub?
Oh, we're going to be doing a Juicy Lucy sub. I've done a practice.
I got a funny feeling.
I'm sorry?
I got a gut feeling we're going to win this game. I just feel it. We're going to win this game.
We better.
Hey, we all need that.
If we don't, all hell is going to break loose if we don't. Oh, my goodness.
I think we'll win. I mean, Micah Parsons, he's fired up. I mean, I've seen a lot of problems in the Green Bay game. Number one, like you said, he was hurt.
Yes.
And he wasn't playing edge.
Right.
So that killed our defense. If he was playing edge, he probably would have had at least 2 or 3 sacks on Aaron Rodgers easy.
The Minnesota Vikings, Kirk Cousins versus the Blitz. 32nd in the NFL.
Hey, it's your time, Biggs. Hey, I need the interception. I need about 2. Throw me 2 of them, Cousins. Yeah. Give me 2 of them.
So there's that. Definitely put some pressure.
Mark, Mark, I knew nothing didn't happen to I Love Weed because me and Marilyn, we was talking about it last night on your chat. And I told Marilyn, I said, Marilyn, me, you, I Love Weed, a lot of us that's on Mark's chat, we was on Boss Cowboys chat Thursday night.
Yeah, and he was on here Thursday night too. And again, I have no idea who Mr. Mom was and came in and said that. But then as we looked through the chat, he had one other comment and said after the Green Bay game, he shot his PlayStation. It's like, okay. Oh, and by the way, that guy Weed, it's like, okay. Yeah.
Has anyone been having problems with their YouTube trying to put comments in?
Putting comments in? Well,
yeah, I'll try to type in a comment, but it's like no one can read them. I've had that happen a couple times.
I've had a couple people because there's sometimes I'll get people who will say my super chats aren't happening or I can't see my comments. Like Angelica's. Actually, that was me, I think. Actually, I accidentally blocked her some strange way. But sometimes I'll have to go back in and actually put the person, give permission for that person, even though they're not blocked, give permission for them to be on. I don't know. YouTube is actually doing a whole bunch of new things and doing a bunch of updates. So they've had some issues left and right. With the shorts, they're actually going to monetize those, and they're changing things up because they're trying to, go against TikTok and Instagram and stuff. So they're doing that, and they're putting in all these new features. And it's kind of crazy that they do all this stuff while this stuff is always up and going. So there are hiccups in there.
Hopefully Elon Musk don't try to buy it.
Oh, geez. And I know a lot of people, I know that Lola gets mad about the ads and stuff that get put in by YouTube and things, but as opposed to what Elon was trying to do, get you to pay $8 a month for that. Although you can get YouTube Premium and it won't show you any ads, just saying that. Miss Gibson, how are you doing tonight?
He can have Twitter. No one's paying for that pool.
I never use Twitter. Never used it.
I go on there sometimes. I usually would go on Twitter to find out what's going on when YouTube was down. that's usually when I would use Twitter the most.
Oh, I just use Facebook.
Oh man, that's a whole nother cesspool as well too. Good Lord, just click live chat again.
You know what, Mark? I'm on Twitter, but I very seldom go on now.
Well, I do. I actually do go on there and check to see what's trending and stuff like that. Because like Romo was trending yesterday because of course he's going to be calling our game, and it's just like, oh Lord, here we go.
Here we go.
We got.
Like you, Mark. Here we go.
Why couldn't it be a primetime game?
Oh man. Yeah, well, prime time with Kirk Cousins. I would love that. Kirk Cousins in prime time. But as much as now the whole thing of Kirk Cousins versus Dak Prescott argument that's out there, Dak has owned Kirk. Prescott has owned Kirk. The only game that I remember us losing to Minnesota was in Minnesota, and we lost Amari Cooper. And we lost Tyron Smith early in the game. Zeke Elliott only rushed for like 38 yards. Dak was balling, had 3 touchdown passes. And it was another one of those things that let's stop doing what's working and go to something that's not. Because
wasn't that when Minnesota was playing in the college campus thing
I think
while they're...
I think it was.
No, that was the new stadium.
Was it
that game was prime time. I remember that because after the game,
it was.
They said Travis Frederick went off on Jason Garrett.
Yeah, because we had our kicker miss a kick. Dak had almost 400 yards passing. So we were down by I think 5 or 6, and we started out with like on the 10-yard line. Dak is just passing it. Boom. We get all the way down to like the 20-yard line, and then all of a sudden, let's run Zeke, who's only gotten like 32 yards all day. 2 plays in a row, we lose yardage. Then what do? We do a screenplay to Zeke, and then 4th down, incomplete pass. And it was just like, why didn't we stick with what was working? In the same way, this is where I go back to, the Cowboys are really good when they go hurry up, right? You saw us in hurry up offense after the interception before the half last week, go down, score a touchdown real quick. And play action. Dak Prescott is deadly at play action, and we're damn good at running the football.
Yeah, that was the reason why Travis Fletcher went off on Jason Garrett. That screen pass. And I read his lips. He said, "Man, what the fuck you doing? Calling a play like that? In that situation."
Yeah.
We could do whatever we wanted the other night. We really could.
Yeah.
Like, if it got down to we needed to score, it seemed like we were able to move the ball.
Until the referees decided to shut us down.
To be playing together in harmony, both playing good at the same time. You can't have one, then the other is allowing 3rd down after 3rd down.
Yes, Navajo smiles. I did get this big sub. It was actually, sometimes shit happens and it's like perfectly timed. I was so worried today going in to pick up the big sub after last week, because last week I kind of said, this is a bad omen for the Cowboys. And I go in there and I've got my cell phone, right? And I'm looking at Jeremy and to see, if they're going, we don't have the sub. And he said, well, he's not a football fan. So he's like, did the Cowboys win? I said, no, they didn't win. They lost, and it's your fault. And this little lady in there, she's like, good. She's walking on out. It's like, oh, okay. It's like, I rooted for you guys last week. Anyway.
Mark, when I saw the video about an hour and a half ago, and when I read the title of the video, I was like, oh.
He didn't get that goddamn sub. Mark Holmes is going to.
I seen that. I was like, oh, man.
But that was Philly. Man, they wouldn't allow you in that deli. That's the difference between
where
we're at just down 95.
They'll just give
crazy,
you bad
man.
looks
Philly
and stuff
like,
here.
nah, man, we ain't selling it to you. I mean, you saw what happened in the Phillies playoff when Houston tried to get food delivery. They found out that it was going to the Astros. They're like, yeah, no, we're not serving you. So
that sounds about like Eagle fans. But I will say this much. I tell you what, Washington is getting a buzz right now. They are actually getting, right now, with the whole idea of dance, there's a lot of stuff that's going on now, because like Maryland basically is dropping the lawsuit against the Commanders with the understanding that they're going to be giving back the deposits that they've been holding for years, pay a fine and this, that, and the other. So that's going to be swept under the rug because, of course, Dan Snyder is looking to sell the team. The fans are all of a sudden, I'm seeing Commanders gear. You remember, Brian, when we were walking downtown Dallas week in D.C., we did not see Redskins, Commanders,
I've never seen nothing like that.
Nothing.
But
And now all of a sudden,
you're gonna see the eyebrow mania shirts.
Oh shit! But here's what's funny: Rio. Now, for all of you fans out there of Oh Goody, Rio interviewed Oh Goody yesterday, and they're blowing up right now. The team has contacted them, trying to get them to do some stuff with the Oh Goody song. They're on the news and everything else. They're hoping that they can get like a record deal and things. So that may end up becoming the Commanders' fight song. And it was funny listening to the interview because he said, at first it was a bunch of haters that were playing it and stuff for jokes. And I was like, why are you talking about me? Okay. I know it's not about me. But anyway, they're playing the Texans. They can get over 500 now. They can be 6-5 and in the playoff hunt.
Yeah, they're right on our heels. We got to get our stuff together. These next 2 games, we got to get our stuff together. It starts
most
Minnesota.
definitely.
This is, if we can bounce back against Minnesota, that'll make up for the loss we had against Green Bay. There ain't no way in hell we should have lost that game, other than Kellen Moore's bad play calling. I know you guys are saying that it wasn't the offense, but the defense, they had some bad plays. Anthony Brown got burnt, and then Boss Fast got burned.
He got burnt, and he got hurt, and then we had Kelvin Joseph out there.
Yeah, made that rookie look like Jerry Rice out there. But But all we had to do on offense was just run the ball. And Tennessee showed us in their game exactly what they did. You know, we
had to stick with it.
But Kellen Moore just gets pass happy, and he always does that, you know.
Yeah, Kellen Moore, he you know, it's almost as if he become a drug addict. He relapsed. You're doing something good. You're doing something good, and you start fiending all of a sudden. You like, I gotta pass. I gotta pass. I gotta pass. Like a dope head needed some crack. I'm like, dude, you ain't at home. You're not at the video game on your big screen. Do what got you here. You don't have time to be acting like a gamer playing Madden. Stop that. This is your job. This is real. You know what you got to do to win. You're not playing Madden with the 15-year-old neighbor. This is your job, dude.
Not the 15-year-old neighbor. Shout out to Cowboys Up North becoming a channel member. Bing, bing, bing. There we go. You know, I'd be okay if I never saw 4 wideouts again. I'm right now, until we get some wide receivers, I look at it and say, we got 2 wide receivers. We got 1.5 wide receivers right now. Because Michael Gallup ain't all the way back. And you got CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
You know, they were saying in training camp, you had CeeDee Lamb and a bunch of guys. And we got Michael Gallup back, and we just have a bunch of guys.
And like you said, James Harrison, he's a unicorn.
Oh, James Washington. Oh, yeah.
James Washington, yeah.
I ain't seen him yet. We talk about it all the time, but we just ain't seen him.
The dark horse.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't seen him at all, like an invisible man.
Yeah, but we always talk about, well, you know, we're going to be getting James Washington. I've been hearing that we're going to be getting James Washington back for how many months now?
Since he signed.
Right.
You know, I'm like this. I won't believe it until I see it.
That's why I call him the unicorn.
You know, I won't believe it until I see it. You know, all this stuff that Jerry Jones is doing, I'm like, dude, go sit down in your chair. Go sit down in your recliner. I know you want to make headlines by running your mouth and stand out in the street. But dude, go somewhere and sit your ass down, man. Damn. Don't nobody want to hear. You breaking the hearts by running your mouth, saying this and saying that, and nothing ever happened. Go sit down, Jerry. Damn. Go sit down and make your bed.
Well, like Mark said, Jerry Jones is like our Flavor Flay. He's a hype man.
Oh yeah. Don't believe the hype. Speaking of hype. Speaking of hype.
Don't believe.
Are we actually playing for Odell Beckham Jr. the next 2 games?
Mark,
sorry, I'm watching the game. I'm getting excited over here.
Yeah.
You know, because you know, if we end up losing this game and lose to the Giants, do you think Odell actually would want to come to the Cowboys?
No.
I think he'd look at that and say, well, the Giants are more viable.
I say
it ain't worth paying $20 million for not even a whole season.
He's going to the highest bidder.
Well,
I'm telling you now.
He's probably looking for he's looking for guaranteed money for next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And probably about $15 to $20 million a year.
You know, Mark, I say yes and no on that. I say yes if we're winning and doing what we're doing, handling our business. And I say no if I'm saying no, he won't come if New York give him a deal that he can't refuse.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say this. Even if we're losing, somewhere in his mind, he may say yes because he may have the attitude of Michael Gallup is sucking, he's hurting. CD may need a running mate.
I've seen Odell give up on plays when he's with the Browns. I don't want him. I just don't want him. I mean, he was good when he was with the Giants, but I've seen too many plays where.
I'm just saying. Just saying. If we, if we're losing or we're barely in the playoff run, Odell may say, CD may need a running, another run. He may need a wingman, or he may need.
Well, I think you can say that right now.
Yeah.
Michael Gallup's got 170 yards in the season, guys, in 4 games.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
170 yards in 4 games. He is not getting the separation that he used to be that outside threat that you could get down deep. He can't do that right now. I'm not saying that he can't, but typically that ACL, and this is where you have to worry about, is Odell. Although I will say Odell, 85% is probably going to be better than Michael Gallup at 100%. If his mind is into actually playing. If he is at least a threat, a viable threat out there, will help CeeDee Lamb as well. But again, when you start looking at what our team has, we do have weapons if we use them correctly between Tony Pollard, between Jake Ferguson, Peyton Hendershot, 12 personnel, play action to be able to do good things. Too many times we forget about the things that are working, and all of a sudden, I'm just sitting here looking like, do we have 4 wideouts to even do a 4 wideout set?
And that would piss me off, Mark, because we can kick ass in the 12 personnel. It's basic common sense. And Kellen Moore, he just don't get it.
Are you actually going to tell me that you're better off having Noah Brown, Jalen Tolbert, CD, Michael Gallup in there, as opposed to having Hendershot or Jake Ferguson and Dalton Schultz, and running the football? Are you going to tell me you're running or play actioning out of that? Are you going to tell me that? Anybody?
Not any better.
No.
Man, we're going
I'd rather go with the 12 personnel.
Yeah, because you can run and you can pass.
Mark, we're going 12 personnel, man. We're untouchable. We can't be beat.
But you know what the problem with 12 personnel is? 12 personnel is not sexy. It's not the big plays.
Thank you.
It's not going down the field, with the big CeeDee Lamb doing a 360 catch, okay? It's winning football, and winning football isn't always pretty.
Thank you. And that's what, we're at the halfway mark now. And I told everybody in my group this a while back. I told them, I said, hey, when we get to the halfway mark, stats, sexiness, all of that is thrown out the window. Everything is thrown out the window. Because after the midway point, the only thing in the NFL matters, and that's winning.
Right.
After that, don't nobody care nothing about who ran or threw for the most yards in a football game. Don't nobody care nothing about that. The only thing they don't care about is, did your team win?
Shout out to West 05, another new channel member.
Ain't nobody gonna care about who ran for the most yards or anything of that nature after the midway point, because all the teams who are in the playoff hunt is gonna be jockeying. This is like a Kentucky Derby. This is like a Primus. This is like Belmont. The horses are jockeying, and we're in the middle of it.
Well, here, and touching on your point of that right there, shout out to Wesley 05 becoming a channel member. I know Cowboys up north also became a channel member. Go to the community tab. It's probably down. I'll do it. But in the community tab, there's a link that'll take you to our Thrive site, so that way we can get you your shot glass and stuff sent out to you. Appreciate you guys being channel members, and as channel members, there's a link also too that's in there for channel members if you want to join the Zoom chat. Here's where I look at this and say, I don't want to say we're definitely making playoffs. I don't want to jinx us, but you have to start looking and planning and saying, if we're going to be in playoffs, what can we do now to be in the best shape that we can going into the playoffs? And we already know last year we passed Happy in the playoffs. We could not, we did not run the football. We couldn't stop the run. So between now and the end of the season, we have to figure out, how are we able to run the football? and what's going to be best in cold weather, because we're going to be on the road. Unless the Eagles, lose a couple of games, we're going to be playing on the road pretty much throughout the playoffs. And what can we do to stop the run? And for me, the 12 personnel, we did not run it in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And you've got two backs right now that are doing a lot of damage in the NFL. So we need to go ahead and get to be precise using that 12 personnel. Get these young tight ends up there so they're really balling and going into the playoffs with some momentum. You don't have great receivers. Let's rely on the things that are working right now and perfect those. Last year, you know what we were? We were the jack of all trades. I couldn't figure out what was our identity in football last year on the offensive side. Can anybody tell me what our identity was? We did a lot of things pretty good, but when shit hits the fan, what is the one thing that you always say, hey, this is what we can do right now. We know what's going to work. We didn't have anything like that last year.
No, sir.
And that's where, the Cowboys, Emmitt Smith, run the football.
Yes.
We got that big offensive line. We're going to run the football. And when we do that, it opens up the play action, so then we're going to hit the guys. We don't have a bread and butter. Marylon, what's up, Marylon? Yes. Somebody said, I Love Weed is famous now because people are faking his death. Yes, I Love Weed is okay. He is fine, okay? He was just had a family get together last night, and we just had an idiot in here stirring some shit up. So there's that. So yes, I Love Weed is okay. I Love Weed. If you're watching or hanging with your family, you're getting lots and lots of love today.
Hey, Mark.
Yes, sir.
We didn't get Turpin involved in the offense.
Oh, geez. You're look, Brian is unmuted right there. Brian couldn't wait. Go ahead, Brian.
Go ahead, I'm just waiting for him to have that breakout run, but every time we see him, he just ends up dropping it or something like that.
Go ahead, Ruben. I want to hear more because I agree with you, pal.
Yeah, because he can get out of the backfield and run up the field with no problem at all. With all that speed he's got.
You saw what happened when we put him in the game in a desperate,
people are ready for him.
Mm-hmm.
They're ready.
I mean, you have to scheme it appropriately if he's in the game. I just want him in there for 2 plays a half.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, can I get 4 plays?
Even if he's just a decoy.
But I mean, he don't have to be a decoy because he can blow right by his guys.
True. I said, but even if he's just a decoy, make them have to go ahead and do it.
It's clearing the field.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit. And if that's all you want, that's all you need. That's all you need, especially on a big third down where we keep like when we are now. That was a phantom hold call. I'm not going to sit there and bitch that we lost the game, but that was a phantom freaking hold call that they called. That that
was a bullshit call. I'm sorry. Okay.
Damn freaking
bull. What? So, but anyway. Get him in the game.
That pass reference no call kind of helped out too.
But just like what Ruben was saying, get him in the game, man. That opens everything up. Let's do. I mean, we do have players that can get the job done.
Yeah.
Let's put him in the game. Let's get the guy who can't line up
okay.
properly.
Old man, 803. It is at 425 with Tony Romo calling the game.
Yeah.
And Eastside, hold on. Eastside, look, you got one job, Eastside. You got one job. Can you win a damn game against somebody in the NFC East besides the Cowboys?
Bro, we need you.
Okay? Can you got one job. And what are you talking about? A Cowgirl fan faking their death on YouTube? I Love Weed didn't fake his death. Somebody came in here and said that I Love Weed was dead. So, you know what, Eastside?
He said Weed was dead. Maybe they mean you a Weed is dead. I Love Weed. You went to I Love Weed.
Everybody did. He said the weed. No, he said the weed guy is dead.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, maybe he was saying your weed guy is dead. I don't smoke weed, so what's
I'm only a lackey.
Okay, just check it. I wasn't the only. Oh,
what I say?
You're my lackey. The intelligent one. That's the lackey. Okay, it's like pick a side. Which one is it? He's the smart one or he's the lackey? Well, I can't get it. But I don't know what you're talking about. A cowgirl fan faking their death. Anyway, he's a Texans fan. What do you know?
Bottom line is he's good to go. That's all we really care about.
Definitely.
Let's just pay no mind.
I'll tell you what, Angelica Barone said Kellen better not piss her off tomorrow. Because you know what? Angelica can let the dogs go. She can sick the dogs on Kellen Moore, literally.
Yeah.
We proceed with caution with Weed Man.
I think it's going to be it's a tough place to play, but just looking at the rest of our schedule, there's 2 games that are must wins. Now, I know we need to win more than 2, but I'm saying there's 2 games we cannot lose. One being on Thanksgiving Day.
Mm-hmm.
We can't lose to the Giants because they're beating all the crap teams. And that's what you have to do in this league. You know? We beat them, and then we have to beat the Eagles. Washington, me and you keep saying we think it's going to mean something, but it may not. We don't know yet. But we have to beat the Giants and the Eagles. And good thing is play them at home. So Thanksgiving and what is it, Christmas Eve or Christmas Day?
Mm-hmm.
The last time we won a Thanksgiving game was against Washington. That was like 5 years ago. We got
Has it been that? Have they been messing up our Thanksgiving
that long? James?
Has it?
Yeah, it's been a while. We lost to Buffalo last year. Who did we lose to last year?
The Raiders.
The Raiders.
And talk about bullshit calls. Remember, like Micah Parsons got unnecessary roughness. Derek Carr's running and went head first, and Micah Parsons slows up and barely touched his helmet. Unnecessary roughness. Like, come on.
We need handshakes at halftime and blow them out. Run the ball in the second half. We need a nice, comfortable, opened up. In fourth quarter, our guys are resting. That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Especially after playing 3 games.
The day you asked.
Was it 11 days?
I get tired of having to eat a crow on Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
all
man,
my
that's
family.
tough. That's
Talk
tough.
about, you Cowboys suck.
And then we got a 10-day wait. So.
Yeah.
In which case we can turn things around with the Colts and the Texans and so on.
But we can't. It'll be huge if we win tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll really make me forget about last week because I didn't have them sweeping. So.
To be honest with you, I wasn't very disappointed with the loss last week. I mean,
it was how they lost, Troy.
Yeah, that's the thing. That was the disappointing part. But the game itself, I think it lived up to its billing, to be honest with you.
I knew they would come out. They have pride. Mm-hmm. Everybody hates Dallas. We get everybody's best game. It's not going to change. We need to be that much better than everybody else for us to be successful. We just can't be a good team. And it's ultimately going to come down to the group of guys in the locker room being ready to go when playoffs start and going on a run. It has nothing to do with me or the big sub. I know we like to think it, but they need to get the job done. They are more than capable of doing it.
Are you saying I'm wasting my time with the big sub?
No, not at all. We need the big sub. We need it. I've done some things here or haven't done things that I normally do.
Oh, we're getting a pot of chili tomorrow, too. Pot of chili and the glizzies. The glizzies, too.
Cold tomorrow.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, it got cold quick. It got cold quick out here. It's
like
not
30
cold.
degrees here. It's cold.
No, man, I don't play that. So.
No, I'm living in luxury right now. It's 46 warm degrees here.
Okay, well, does anybody think that the Eagles can be upset by the Colts tomorrow?
Yes.
I do.
It could. I mean, it could be an emotional win for Jeff Saturday because he's trying to prove himself. He got a chip on his shoulder.
If they go back and watch that game that Washington played against them on Monday night, Washington laid the plan. The plan worked down for a defeat of Philadelphia.
Mary.
But you know how it goes, too.
And I'm going to tell you this.
Dallas Goedert being gone is big.
That's going to be huge.
I didn't know Goddard's out.
He is on IR right now.
Wow.
Hurt shoulder. And you have Jordan Davis who's out, too.
God may not be. He may not. He may not play the Dallas game down in Dallas on Christmas Eve either.
Davis.
Richie said, "You wish, Mark." You know what? It's funny because you guys kind of said. Actually, let me pull it up because this is what's funny. I actually did a little short on this because I didn't realize it because my phone hadn't blown up much. Let's see, where is Philly 500? Philly. All right, so I had sent a text to the night before the Eagles game. I said, "Are you worried?" He said, "8-0, baby," and he look, second and third last undefeated team. And you know what? I ain't heard from Philly 500 since. Normally he was sending me pictures of Jordan Davis and 8-0, Super Bowl contenders, and we didn't sign. I ain't heard nothing from Philly 500 lately.
Sounds like he's off eating crow.
Since the brother screwed
how
us.
It works, don't you? Where like a team will be undefeated, and then you'll go on, you'll lose one, and then you'll kind of have a lull before you pick it back up.
Look at the Steelers.
Yeah.
2 years ago.
The Cardinals last year.
Yep. And I'm gonna tell you something else, Mark. Don't be surprised if the man who loved to bite off kneecaps go in the Meadowlands and beat the Giants tomorrow.
They've won 2 in a row now.
Yes, sir.
Now they weathered Justin Fields against the Bears. Now I'm not saying the Bears are great, but the Bears have actually been playing pretty good football, and they run the hell out of the football.
What is it? The Lions versus the Giants, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's yeah. So
if Aiden Hutchinson can go off on the Giants. Oh my gosh.
And the Giants have been. It's one of those things that they always seem to be behind, and they find a way somehow in the end to get a crazy victory. And that's been the case with some of the games for the Eagles. I know the Eagles believe. Look. Here we go. Brother Ross is in the house. Weird how someone could ghost over football. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's how cockroaches are. The lights came on the Eagles. They got exposed. They lost Dallas Goedert. Jordan Davis isn't in there in the middle. Now, everybody has been killing the Cowboys and saying, oh, my God, we don't care about winning. They got Ndamukong Suh. They got Lavelle Joseph. These guys haven't played football in 8 months. We didn't had a guy who didn't go to training camp, and how much has he done for us, Jason Peters?
Not much,
right?
Not a damn thing.
Not only that, these dudes are long in the tooth too.
Yeah. Now, this is what's crazy because I think Brian, you said you forgot about it. You remember about a month ago they signed Robert Quinn?
Yeah, I do.
He's played in 3 games.
I didn't even know he played last.
He's got 46 plays. He's got 2 tackles. I think they're assists. That's it.
He's one of those guys who, he had a big year last year.
And then he always follows it up with a crappy year.
He's normally a contract guy. If it's on the line, he lets it go.
When
he wanted, the Eagles paid a lot of money for a guy who
a 4th round draft pick.
He was able to get his free agency after this year.
Mm-hmm.
So they basically covered it. So he will be a free agent after this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot to give up for a guy.
It's kind of like what the Rams did with Von Miller, but they got Von Miller who was making a difference. Right now, he ain't getting on the field.
Speaking of the Eagles game, we were talking about the Colts. I think the Colts is one of those tough places to play.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
Philadelphia.
No, it's not. I don't think it is. Maybe you're right. I don't know. I need help on that. Somebody help me out.
It's a really nice stadium. I'll tell you that.
Let me see here. I think it's in Indy. I really do.
It is in Indy.
Yeah, then that's a tough place to play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a tough place to play.
So they're playing. They're playing in the oil field, huh?
Yeah.
If it's loud, if it's close, and then you have AJ Brown. You saw him limping around.
I'm sorry.
He's not 100%.
Mm-hmm. And you've got Dallas Goedert, who's the number 2 receiver.
What I was telling you guys last week. I said, everything, as long as we don't. Listen, you can say what you want. Going to Green Bay is never a piece of cake, especially in the position we were in. We were desperate. Now, you saw what happened last night.
Yeah.
Or not last night, on Monday night. They, shot their what against us. They shot their shot. and now you saw what happened. They're basically done.
Well, hold on. I gotta wait a minute. Jackson Boy says Kellen Joseph should be the starter. Should be the other starter at cornerback.
I wish you were right, Jackson Boy, but man, he don't look good.
Oh, no, Kellen Joseph. Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't.
He looks so far away from being a second round pick.
He just seems like his technique. He needs playing time, but he needs a preseason.
He's not
he needs
good.
A lot of reps. Like, I think he's got it in him, but so far no.
Yeah, Kellen Joseph.
It shows.
Kellen Joseph is so bad that I'm happy that Anthony Brown is back.
Yeah, well, Anthony Brown's going to have his hands full tomorrow. He better get his act together. If we plan on doing anything this year, you can't do it with one cornerback.
Yeah, because then they go the other ways. Yeah, so we got the Eagles. I don't think that's going to be a cakewalk because, there's something about having hope and a change in there. Now, again, I know it was only the Raiders and the Raiders are imploding, but for Jeff Saturday to come in there with that team, they came in there and played for him, and you could see the excitement. And that's what I say about the Commanders, too, because the Commanders have life now. Yeah. And so don't be surprised on that one. And now that the Eagles, okay, they've lost that one, they are subject to having the ball run on them too. They gave up a lot of yards to Washington as well.
Yeah. FYI, anybody that you're picking up off the streets at this time of the year isn't all that.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's OBJ included. There's a reason why he's not on a team yet.
Well, he couldn't be if he wanted to at the moment.
Right. So anybody that, you can talk about and Dominic Sue, he's the one guy that could probably wake up out of a sleep and make a tackle. But we'll see. Linval Joseph was done a year ago. That was desperate.
Right.
He's 34 years old.
And then another thing, game time, Brian. Taylor is back.
Yeah, he's the best running back in the league, for my money.
Oh, Taylor for
Indianapolis. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Jonathan Taylor is no joke, so he's gonna be able to run the ball.
Juan Torres.
Juan, what's up, JoJo? How are you? Blue Virus in the house. Hey, Blue Virus, man. I got lucky last week in fantasy. That was a joke, but whatever.
Is Blue Virus in the house?
Right?
I'll tell you, the one draft I didn't show up for, I'm 7-3. The other one I'm like 2-8.
Okay. You and Votto, the auto team. You Votto and what's his name? DMV didn't draft their teams, then they're doing well.
Okay, so here's an interesting take for the Eagles. I'm just going to put this out here, okay? The Lions have been trending really well since they played the Cowboys. They lost to us 24-6. They went toe for toe against Miami. They lost 27-31. Then they beat the Packers 15-9. We know what happened with us with the Packers. I mean, hell, I can't believe that their defense only gave up 9 points to Aaron Rodgers. But they ended up beating the Bears and taking that onslaught of that running game 31-30. So you can look at it and say right now the Lions are trending a lot better with Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
So that's not an easy. I see you there, Richie. I see you there. You think this is the NFL. Anybody can beat you. Anybody can beat you. And the difference between a good team and a bad team, as much as I hate saying good things about the Texans are in every game with no names.
They do have some fight. Yeah. They have some fight. There's a team that the Eagles have to play. I brought this up Monday night. We got a lot of crap from Eagles fans about we gave up X amount of points against the Bears. You guys will see what we dealt with. You still have to play the Bears in Chicago.
Oh, my God. Justin Fields. Jeez.
I'm calling that Chicago wins that game. I'm telling you now, they're a physical team. You will get beat up. It will affect the following week. They are a scary physical team, and we beat them, yes. But What did they do the following week against Miami? Yeah, the Bears. They did it again. They're doing it every week. Nobody can stop the Bears. So,
oh, and quite as it's kept, they did it to Detroit
they
last
may not
Sunday.
win the game every week, but they are a physical team that's going to punish you.
I think I've got them picked this week.
When the Eagles play the Bears, that's another one. So these games that they had, oh wow, our schedule's caked. Okay, you got to play the game.
David, thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. Again,
you know what I mean.
There's no pushovers here.
6:20 already.
Yeah, time flies when you're having fun, man, with all the great fans and stuff. What you got on tap tonight? What's on for the prime time, game time
we're
show?
Done with the Green Bay. I really can't talk about Green Bay anymore.
Who?
I'm pretty upset about
who?
The game. So that's behind me, man. We got to move on.
Okay.
Whackers.
Yeah, I got some good stuff in here for later. I think we're good, man. Let's just leave
So
it at that.
I'm curious. Did you think Green Bay was going to win that game last week?
No, I did not. I had us. I basically called the game. I said Dallas will be up 27-13, and then Green Bay will get a touchdown to keep it close.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas was up 28-20.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
and then they gave
I
up.
tell you, I'm gonna be honest with
they were
you.
Up 28-14, and then it was 28-20.
When I went in there to get that sub last week, I was like, no, I was like, no. I mean, I'm crazy superstitious like that, okay? Because I keep remembering that last year towards the end of the season, I couldn't get the big sub anymore, and it seemed like the team went downhill. We didn't have I did just like I did last week. I had 3 Italian loaves and tried to do the big sub against San Francisco. Didn't work.
You should have a standing order every week.
That's what I had told him. I was like, the next week is bye week. I need one the following week, and I didn't check up on it. So I called him twice this week. I'm like, look, dude, don't forget the sub, okay? Do not forget the sub. What's kind of interesting, this is off topic, but the guy who owns the place, he's going to eventually turn it over to his manager because he's actually going to drive to Argentina.
Really?
That's, he's been, yeah. This is his dream. He's been reading this book about all the highways and all the roads and, cow pastures that you got to go through to actually get there. He wants to go to the bottom of South America and drive it.
How's he going to get through the canal that's down there, Panama?
He's going to keep the vehicle running on a
barge.
ferry or something.
I don't know, but I'm asking the mailman here how it was that I shipped from Puerto Rico by ground a hammer drill.
Right?
I'm here at Puerto Rico and I'm trying to mail a hammer drill back to the coast of the United States, and they said, "Well, it can only go ground." I'm like, "How does it go ground from Puerto Rico?"
Did they get it yet?
Did they get it? It took like 2 months.
No, but it takes a long time.
It took like 2 months. I was just like,
for whatever reason, people, if you're mailing something that's over 20 pounds or whatever, it seems like it just takes a while. Like
nobody wants to fuck with it.
Yeah, Mark, I didn't speak with you some about that after the show.
Okay.
So,
but
out, people. Yeah, come check us out if you want.
7 o'clock. Check out Prime Time.
Take care, Brian.
All right, man.
Game time was our mailman over here.
Game time.
Who may not come back? Oh, he may not come back. Yeah, that's true. I'm like, that's a lot of different countries that you're talking about driving through. But, got to have dreams, and that's where in life you need to look outside the box and stuff. Because there's a lot of things that I've done in my life that I don't know how I was able to do it other than just keep whacking at it and stuff. The fact that I'm sitting here on YouTube is the craziest thing in the world because I used to could not speak in public. If I had more than about 3 or 4 people, I'd be too shy to say anything. Or when I did, I'd be like, I couldn't do it. Don't ask me how that changed because I really just don't know because being dyslexic and stuttering and all that. So, God bless you for your dreams. Work them hard and try and make them come true. So, what else, everybody? There's Marley Greens. Ain't said nothing tonight. Marley, wake up. Marley, are you asleep over there? Marley Greens, wake up.
What's up? What's up?
Man, the same stuff every day. Long time no see, man. How you doing?
Good at work, boy. I just been working, man.
Ain't mad at you, man. Make that money.
Yeah, I'm working at work now. Don't get off until 1 in the afternoon tomorrow.
Oh, man. Okay. Is that East Coast, West Coast?
I'm in Atlanta.
Oh, okay. So you'll be all right. You'll be home for the game. That's cool. And yes, news on see everybody. I love weed. I love weed is fine. Okay, everybody. I've talked to him. He is cool. He was actually spending time. He's got family that's in town for the holidays and stuff. So he was hanging with them and wasn't on the channel. We don't know why dude came in and said what he did. He just did. Pamela Savage, welcome, Pamela. What's going on? Do I think we'll get Sean Payton next year if the Cowboys don't make the playoffs? No. I'm not sure I want Sean Payton because you're probably going to give up 2 number ones to get him. He's still under contract with the Saints. Anyway, I'm sorry. I love weed. You get off at 1 o'clock tomorrow, so you'll be home in time for the game. So, your thoughts on the game? Cowboys getting the win. What's your score?
60.
Did I hear 60?
I'm going to say 28-17.
28-17. All right.
Nah, just say 13. I don't think they're going to score that much points. I think the defense is going to step up pretty good. So I say 28-13.
You know what? I hope that Micah Parsons goes in there and with Kirk Cousins and finishes him. Okay. I mean, I'm hoping that he goes off. You know, hadn't had a sack in a couple of games. I would love for him to get a couple tomorrow. And the Eagles stink against the blitz. Just putting that out there. Thomas Garrett. Thomas Garrett, what's your thoughts on the game tomorrow?
Well, I've been doing. I did my little scouting and research for the game tomorrow, and I was on Minnesota's website a couple of nights ago. I was looking at the games that they won, and I noticed that all of their games they won, they have been close. They've won between the scores of 3 to 8 points. And if you ask me, I can't give a final score. I can't. I can say that the game tomorrow is going to be close. It's going to be close. We should win. But I think it's going to be close. And as long as Kellen Moore don't get stupid tomorrow, I think we're going to be all right.
All right. They got the win. They had to come from 2 scores down against Buffalo. But I'm beginning to wonder if Buffalo is into that slump right now because you saw Buffalo get beat by Miami and then not long after that getting beat by the Jets.
Next week.
And you all of a sudden start looking at, Buffalo was the hot team and everything else. Now Kansas City is thought of as the hot team. But you have to wonder, did they just catch the Bills at the right time right now? Josh Allen's got the hurt elbow, and the passes are way off. Way the hell off.
Buffalo went from number 1 in the East to 3rd.
Right. Yeah, they're same place. They're exact same place that the Cowboys are right now in their division.
6-3.
Yeah.
Both teams are 6-3.
Hey, quick fact for y'all. Buffalo and Minnesota, they 2 teams that went to the Super Bowl 4 times straight and didn't win.
Yep.
Right.
So that's Chris Berman pick every year. The Bills against the Bills against the 49ers. I think he used to pick that every year. I don't think they're gonna do that. They just good in the regular season.
All right. Troy, your thoughts on the game tomorrow?
It's going to be a close one. I think a difference of 4 points probably. I'm thinking 21-17 for Dallas.
All right. Well, here's what we're looking at. Minnesota beat the Packers week 1, 23-7. They lost to the Eagles on Monday night, which is something that always happens to Kirk Cousins. They beat the Lions 28-24. They beat the Saints 28-25. They beat
their wins.
They beat the Bears 29-22.
Their wins haven't been by more than
They beat the Dolphins 24-16. That was without Tua. They beat the Cardinals 34-26. They beat the Commanders 20-17 and the Bills 33-30.
Yeah, it sounds like they've had almost all of their games, no less than a touchdown.
So when you look at that, the Dolphins and the Bills are only two teams with winning records that they've beaten. And you definitely both of the quarterbacks, Tua was out when they played him, and Josh Allen was injured when they played him.
How about the 3 losses? What did they lose by?
Oh, 2 losses. They lost to the Eagles 24-7.
Okay.
And they lost to
No, they just got that one loss.
That one loss, right? That one loss.
Okay, so it was by 17. Well, if our defense is anything like what Philadelphia's was when they played Minnesota, I think it's going to be a good game. I still think it's going to be a 4-point win for Dallas.
And our defense is better than Philadelphia.
Exactly. I mean, the way Minnesota's playing now, this late in the season, if we'd have played them back like maybe a game or two after Philly had beaten them, we'd have probably won that game then by a resounding, 10 points or more. But the way Minnesota is coming back from behind and winning these games, like against Buffalo, in Buffalo, that I really think this is going to be a defensive struggle for both teams. I think both teams are going to have their defenses are going to be at peak shape, and both of them will come at each other.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that this week it seems like we've been brought back down to earth, and that the team seems to be a little bit humbler, and hopefully they're a little bit more hungry going into this game instead of thinking that this is just going to be a pushover against Aaron Rodgers. They've lost 5 games straight, and we'll just show up there and beat them. Now you got to show up every single week and be ready to rock and roll.
Do we know if they're going to activate Tack McKinley off of the practice squad?
I have not seen that, so I don't think so.
Okay, so he probably won't be ready until Thanksgiving then.
If then, because the thing is, you're not really practicing that much. Most of the practices this week were kind of like walkthroughs, so they're trying to keep them as light as possible. Basically, go out and play this week, this weekend, and then basically you're gonna do a couple of walkthroughs and get a game plan, and you're playing the Giants. So it won't be much practice between now and then, and that's one of the reasons why maybe James Washington is actually ready come off the practice squad, but they look at it and say we're not really going to practice, so why open up that window? And I think we probably will see we got the 10 days, so they'll be off for basically the rest of next week.
They'll have 7 days because they'll play Thursday this week, and then they play the game next Thursday.
No, they don't play till they play the Colts.
Yeah, on Thursday night.
No, that's on Sunday. It's on Sunday.
Are you sure?
Yeah, they don't have back-to-back Thursday games.
I thought they said they had that Thursday game.
It's the 4th of December.
Oh, okay, good.
It's next Sunday night because I'm thinking about going to that game down in Arlington.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so they basically got the mini bye week, which is good. Let me double check. Yeah, December 4th, 8:20 p.m.
Hey, are we going to predict the Giants game while we're at it?
Oh, no. Oh.
You won't have a live stream before then.
I'll have one Monday night. But maybe we'll do a special edition, like Wednesday or something like that for it.
We could.
Hey, Mike, are you going to stream on Thanksgiving?
Oh yeah, I'm thinking I'll be cooking Thanksgiving dinner. So what I'm thinking is I'll put a TV upstairs while I'm in the kitchen, and I'll live stream through the Lions game, and then get ready for the Cowboys, because we'll have dinner before the Cowboys game. So that way the Cowboys don't ruin my Thanksgiving dinner.
There you go.
And and who knows? both the Giants and the Colts may do. They may do our job. They may do our dirty work for us tomorrow.
Let's
Wait a
hope
minute,
that's
you
the
said the
case.
Giants and the Colts.
Yeah, the Colts will beat the Eagles.
I hope the Colts, but wait a minute. You mean against?
I want the Lions to beat the Giants.
Yeah, you mean the Lions and the Colts. Okay,
then we could take care of the Giants on Thursday.
Well, I'm gonna beg Eastside. Can you go ahead and get the Commanders, the left hand up? Can you guys put the right hand up to knock down the left hand of the Commanders?
Commanders.
Charlena White. Shout out to Charlena White. Best channel ever. Hit the like button. Thank you so much. All right, so I guess we're going to get ready to get up out of here. You've got prime time and game time. That'll be on at 7. I'll be live streaming tomorrow. The early games, we got actually everybody's on early. We've got Rio may be here with his left hand up. I think DMV will be here. I think E2 Blue will be here. I think David Wiley will be here. The big sub will be here, but we have the Commanders game, the Giant game, and the Eagle games all at 1:00, and then we play, of course, at 4:25. So we'll be live streaming through all of that, and hopefully we can come away with a victory. Right?
Yeah, you need to have E2 and DMV sitting up right beside you. They're good luck.
Yeah, there we go. And I'm going to be working on getting the studio together while I'm watching the live stream from Game Time and Prime Time. Any final words, everybody?
Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys.
Cowboys, baby.
All right, go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys.
All right, good people. Just remember,